Flosstube, it's Jen from Jen's Stitching Niche. I'm back for an update video. Today is Tuesday, July 7th. So we've made it through the Independence holiday weekend. So I hope you enjoyed your weekend if you were celebrating. We kind of hung out at my mother's house most of the day on Saturday, and then Nicholas grilled steaks for our immediate family. So my husband, me, and the two guys, and then Nicholas' girlfriend joined us as well. So we had a really good dinner. It was delicious. And then that's pretty much it. That's all we did. We didn't do fireworks because it was raining really bad out here. And we'll do that another weekend. My brother-in-law, Tim, the one that does gardening with me, he loves fireworks. And he does a huge fireworks show multiple times a year, or he has done that in the past. But we haven't had that in like 3 years because it's always raining on the holidays. So he did get all the fireworks this year, and we're probably going to do fireworks in 2 weeks because my nephew and my niece both have birthdays during July. So we're going to try to do a birthday fireworks show. It's pretty big, you know. It gets a little ridiculous, but he loves the fireworks, so we always have fun with that. Last video, I talked about Sally and her medical issues, and many of you were concerned. She's doing much better. She's actually asleep over here in her little bed. She has beds, you know, we have 3 cats and a dog, and we have beds for them in multiple areas. So there's a little bed right here. There's another one over there. They're spoiled. So Elvis is actually sitting on a chair right behind you, and he just wants to be in the background. Maybe in a little bit he'll come over here and I can show off that big boy. They both are, Nicole, you need to not listen to this right now. They both love to bug me when I'm eating my breakfast, lunch, and dinner. They'll both sit or stand right next to me, and Elvis even pats me now. And then Sally pats me, and they're like, hey, where's our food? I didn't know cats would do that. I've had cats all my life, and he's the first one that will like when I'm trying to eat. He doesn't like a lot of what I'm eating, so Sally says she'll eat anything. So, okay. Well, that is essentially my update video. I mean, my life update. So I guess I'll get into some of the other reasons we do these Flosstube videos. I'm going to answer a couple of questions that I had on my last video. So one question, someone had asked a couple of times about a piece that I have hanging on a wall in here, and they wanted to know what it is. And it's dusty. Y'all should ask about more pictures because then I get them down and dust them. But I really don't know what it is. This is the one, and it is a Mill Hill kit that I had, and I don't know where I got it. I don't know the name of it either. Maybe I can try to find it on Witchelt. And then they sell these frames that you can buy, but back in the day I was really cheap, and I tried to come up with my own answer to that. So I bought this. It is a cork board. I don't know where I got this. Maybe at Hobby Lobby. I don't know. It doesn't have a date on it, but it's old. And I try to paint it. You see how pitiful my little candy corns are? It's cute though. And I just glued this to the cork board. So that's what that is. So not a lot of information, a little bit of embarrassment on my part because that's not the prettiest picture or prettiest painting. But the other question I had was about the way I store my DMC, and Nell from Little Yellow House Crafts did a really good video showing how she stores her cross stitch, you know, stash. So I suggest going and watching her video. But my DMC I have in one of these double-sided cases. I got mine at Hobby Lobby. You can get them at pretty much all the craft stores, but it holds an entire DMC set. We say that almost every time somebody talks about this. I have all of the DMC, including the variations. What were those called? I don't remember. The 4000s. I've got all of those that I had bobbinated and put into this box as well. So pretty much the entire set is in here. Now, I do have a lot of DMC, and it's actually from my mom and my stash, and I'll show you what that looks like. I actually have it over here. And let me tell you why we have so much DMC. I need to explain this first. And this is a small amount compared to what we used to have. In South Mississippi, there was a family who had stores called Hudson Salvage. And they would buy the contents of stores that were damaged, like in a fire or flooding or whatever. They would buy all the materials that were left, and they would go through it, and whatever was usable, they would sell at their Hudson Salvage sites. And back in, I guess it was 1993, 1992, they had a huge craft supply. I don't know what was going on. It obviously had some fire damage, because the charts that I got all had kind of a smoky smell to them, but the flosses were fine. They didn't have any, they didn't smell or anything. So we went and bought DMC, and we just kept buying it. And I'm telling you, they had that stuff for at least a year, because by the time it got to the smallest amount or the lowest price, we were paying a penny a skein for that floss. And so we bought a lot, way more than we needed to. And I kept that when I moved to Houston, when we moved back, and I've sold lots of it on DMC, but this is what we have left. And I have it in one of these boxes. I just organize it by the numbers in these Ziploc bags. So I've got a little label, and then I have those in there. You can see I also have Sullivan threads. That was from, actually I just got the Sullivan threads. I was able to get a pretty good number of those for a good price. So, but that is my DMC storage. So I guess that's the questions that I've had on my last video. If you have any other ones, you're welcome to leave a message below, and I will try to respond to that. Okay, now it's time to look at some stitching. In my last video, I described my July plans were to work on Jolly July 2019 start. So I had started, 30 projects last July, and I had like 11 of them still to work on. Now these were ornament starts, so they're small. But that was my plan, is just to kind of work through those during July and not start anything. July 1st, I worked on the One Starry Christmas Eve from Brenda Gervais, and I actually worked on that for 3 full days. And then on July 4th, I was supposed to work on Pear Tree Ornament from Little House Needleworks. Well, I tore my craft room up on the 4th looking for that, and I could not find it. I found the magazine that it was in, and the fabric wasn't there. So I just restarted it. So I did start something new. It will be funny if I find out that if I find the fabric, or if I find out that I finished it and just didn't mark it off my list. I don't know. Anyway, so I do have a finish on this piece, and it's a small piece, so it didn't take that long. I worked on it on the 4th and the 5th. It is stitched on something from my scrap basket. It's a 40 count. And then I used Classic Colorworks and Victorian Motto. The pears and the leaves and the border here are all the called for Weeks Dye Works, but the pot and the branches were Victorian Motto to match, because I didn't have those in my, I couldn't find them in my stash. I'll tell you that this was a fun stitch, but in the chart, this side over here, this whole thing right here is a solid piece down to the bottom. So there was an error, so I had to come in and tear this out and do this several times, but nothing major. Just if you're going to use that chart, make sure you make the correction. It's actually from the 2006 Christmas ornament issue. If you've got that, I'll tell you what page it's on. It is on page 72. So it's really pretty. I love that. And I've been wanting to stitch this since 2006, so I'm glad it's done. So that's my finish. Now, in addition to that, I have been working on the One Starry Christmas Eve. I'm trying to find it over here in my stack. I started this during on July 1st of last year as my Jolly July first start and my Brenda Gervais. Remember I did the year of Brenda Gervais? So that is the chart. And I actually sold out of this right now in my Etsy shop, but I will try to get it in stock soon. I'm stitching this on a piece of 46 count Aztec Red from Weeks Dye Works. And the 46 count that I can get from my distributor is Swigert base, but not all of my Weeks Dye Works is Swigert base. This one is, and that's my progress. So I got the border done. I finished Santa. Now all I have to do is just repeat the mirror image over here of those two parts. And it is not exactly like the chart. I cannot figure out what I did, but it's pretty. And I will work on this periodically through the month. Maybe I can get it done as well. Okay, and then another whip that I've been working on is a chart that I've been working on with Lori from Mischievous Stitches. So we started this in Mania of 2018. It's Birds of a Feather by Blackbird Design. Lori has finished hers, and there's a few of us in the stitch along that haven't finished. Karen contacted me and let me know she hasn't finished hers either, so we're in the same boat. But I am getting close. So here is my progress. So I have got the border completed, except I've got to go and do the little doodad things all over. That to me is the hardest part of this chart, is all the little things on the border. Got that big bird, both big birds done. I just have 2 lollipops, a little bird, a few letters, and then all the detail on the border, and then down to the midpoint there. So it's looking good. Can't wait to get that done. I am stitching this on 40 count something from R&R, and I just did a conversion. I have different, it's charted for silks. I'll show you that part. It's charted for, what is that, needlepoint silks, which I don't have. So I just pulled things based on the DMC conversion. I would pull the DMC from mine and then pull different silks from my stash. So I have this, and some of them do not have names, but you know, it's working out. It looks really pretty. Okay, and then finally, the last thing that I've worked on since we talked last was, I mentioned that I have this in my Mania starts. This is my oldest Mania start. I need to get it done. And after Mania this year, I have the balloon done, I have Westy done, and I have his hat. So I still have to do all of Santa, and then there's 7 other little parts to do. So I'm supposed to stitch on this if I finish a project before the next one starts. I talked about that last time. So I finished the pear tree ornament on July 5th. So I'm supposed to work on this until I get to my next project. What's my next project? Let's look at the book. So my next project from last year's Jolly July is stained glass mistletoe. So stained glass mistletoe is this one right here from Ink Circles. It is in the 2014 Christmas ornaments. And I'll show you where I am at this point. So I think it goes like this. But I don't have a lot of progress, but I'm not going to work on that until July, July 9th, Thursday. So between the time that I finish a project and I'm supposed to start the other one, I'm going to focus on this guy. But I'm not going to do it exclusively. I'm sorry, Jenny, I can't do it exclusively. So I will work on things like One Starry Christmas Eve and the Birds of a Feather piece and this Spirit of Oz Santa. So last night I pulled it out and I worked on it, and I got all of the parts for the Tin Man done. So let me see if I can get this up. Isn't he adorable? So his little axe, both of his arms and his legs and his body. And this takes a lot longer than you would think to stitch, especially when I stitched everything and put his little face in and realized that I missed a row. His cheeks were down at his neck. Do you see that? His little cheeks, they were down one. They were sitting, his cheeks were sitting on his shoulders. That was not good. So I had to fix this. So I just frogged a little bit, which is difficult to do on perforated paper, but I got it, and he is suitable for what he's going to be. I think next I'm going to work on the Scarecrow, because he's adorable. Isn't he adorable? All right, so that's what I'm working on. I think that is it. So I showed you stained glass. That's what I'll be working on through. Actually, that one is on the calendar to be worked on through Sunday. And then I will pick up another project. Well, I won't do another video, so I'll go ahead and show you what that is. The next one is another ornament from the 2015 Christmas ornament issue. And it is Merry Christmas. This is from Samplers Not Forgotten. And that's my progress. This is a piece of linen that Teresa dyed, kitten stitcher. So she does these little swatches to try out different methods, and then she lets me have some of them. So, all right. So that's my plans for this next week. The only other thing I have to talk about is some stash. And I don't know if I've shown this on another video, but I want to share this with you because I thought it was really cool. I am trying my best to become a rug hooker like Kathleen and Michelle Farm Girl, because I don't know if you've seen Kathleen's hooked rugs. They're amazing, and they just look so pretty. So I'm trying to get into that habit. I have way more kitted up than I should for somebody who hasn't done any, but I'm working on it. So I was on Etsy the other day looking around, and I found this shop that had some really cool things, including the hooked rug kits. So I bought 2 kits, and it's from a place called MavisButterfield on Etsy, or MavisButterfield.com. And I bought this kit with Santa, and it comes with everything you need to do that. And I bought another one, which is actually on my frame, so I can't show that to you. I'm going to show you the finished project soon. I just know it. But it is this little guy. Isn't that adorable? And her stuff is amazing. She also does this, what is it called? I think it's called redware. Just cutouts of different little ornaments. And I got several of those for friends and things. And on these kits, they come all packaged so prettily. Is that a word? Prettily? They're so packaged very well. And she puts one of those little tiny ornaments on each one. It was really fun. I mean, she is great. All right, the last thing I want to talk about is kind of a shop update. You may know that I have an Etsy shop. It's called Jen's Stitching Niche on Etsy, and I sell cross-stitch supplies. So I just got a box in the mail, and this is so exciting because we all love it when Paulette's new projects are available. So these are being listed in my shop today. This is my absolute favorite one. I actually stopped at my mom's house on the way and to show her all of these, and this was her favorite too. She's like, we have the same taste. I'm like, yes, we do. There's Grace on Thee. That's beautiful. Summer Hill. Summertide Blessings. And finally, that Tomato Dame that everybody's just talked about from last year's Dying to Stitch Club. I don't know which club it was in, but so those are all available. Now, one thing I will tell you, these 2 were marked inactive by Etsy. I'm not sure what's going on, but sometimes when I list things, Etsy will put them as inactive, saying they have to verify that they're appropriate for Etsy. So if they're not up, just give me time. They'll be available soon. So, all right, so I think that's about it for this video. I hope you all have a good week. If you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment below and I'll try to get back to you. Those of you that left comments on the last video, thank you. They were hilarious. I really enjoyed all of the comments about the Diet Dr. Pepper with cherry. I am sorry if you're having a hard time finding it, but my obsession really only impacts those in South Mississippi. So, actually, I'm not even drinking Diet Dr. Pepper, the cherry one today. This has, isn't he adorable? Oh, I love him. Anyway, this has the Diet Dr. Pepper with cream soda, which it's not my favorite. My favorite is the one with cherry. But, you know, I got to kind of space out my Diet Dr. Pepper with cherry issue. So, okay, so if you have any questions, leave a comment below. Thank you for visiting with me. I hope you have a great week. And I will see you soon, hopefully in 7 more days. Okay, so what I'm going to talk about, just redescribe my, that's not even a word, redescribe, like a politician.